My name is Meg and I'm from Little Arthur Independent School. We've been supporting home educating families in the UK for over 20 years and we are keenly aware of the concerns surrounding the schools bill, which is currently at the committee stage before the House of Lords. We're going to be uploading a video going through the bill step by step, but that's going to be quite a legalistic and detailed video with quite a lot of complexity in it. So this video is just aiming to provide a layman's summary of the changes which can be anticipated from the bill in its current form. Do bear in mind the bill is likely to undergo significant changes from now. This is only based on the bill as it's been presented to the House of Lords, and I know a lot of new ideas have been proposed by the Lords already. So bear in mind this is just what it is today. Also bear in mind this bill is only applicable to England. Education is a devolved matter, so Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland will have different regulations and rules on this. We're going to be focusing on part 3 of the bill, which starts at section 48. This states that the local authority must maintain a register of children who are in the local authority area of compulsory school age, but not registered in a state school, academy or registered private school. And the register is going to contain the names, addresses, dates of birth of all these children, the names and addresses of their parents, details of how they're going to be educated to be prescribed, any other information to be prescribed, and may also contain any other information the local authority deems appropriate. You can see there's a lot of breadth in there, a lot of uncertainty, lots of to be prescribed that we don't know how that's going to apply. We don't know how onerous this obligation is going to be, how much detail is going to be required. And that's a cause of concern, in particular because we don't know how this information is going to be kept or who's going to have access to it. That was also said it'll be dealt with by future regulations, but we don't know who's going to have access. And that's a real concern, particularly for families where privacy and safety are closely interlinked. So who's going to supply all this information? Firstly, parents. Parents are going to be under an obligation to inform the local authority if their child should be registered, update the local authority on any changes to their situation, and respond to any requests for information from the local authority. And all these things will have to be done within a 15-day window of the issue arising. So 15 days from your child turning 5 or being deregistered from school, for example. This is potentially a really significant obligation because, as I've said, we don't know how much information is going to be required. Whether this is just a simple form saying my child, name, age, date of birth, address, has left school, or whether it's going to be reams of information with a detailed educational plan. We just don't know. Educational providers are also going to be required to provide information if they're offering an out-of-school education where no parent is present for a set amount of time to a child who should be enrolled on this register. Then the provider has to inform the local authority of this and provide the name, address, date of birth of the child and the names and address of the parents within 15 days. We don't know to whom this is going to apply. It says set amount of time, but no set amount of time has been given. Is it going to apply to the music teacher on Saturday morning? Perhaps. Maybe it will only apply to a sort of quasi-school situation where a child is with a provider every day of the week. But at the moment, it's broad and it's vague and we don't know how it's going to apply. And it is a concern for education providers. There is the option of a fine being imposed if this information isn't provided. So what's going to happen to all this information? We know that it can be given to the Secretary of State, whether about an individual specific child or of the cohort as a whole. It can also be given to a prescribed person in order to protect the education, well-being and health of a child. And it can also be passed on to another local authority if the child is moving between authorities. So if you're moving from Devon to Cornwall, Devon can pass on your information to Cornwall. What are parents getting in exchange for all this? There is a clause about support. It says the local authority must give advice, information or resources, facilities, services, assistance in finances, access to non-educational services and benefits if a parent asks for them, but only as the local authority sees fit. So although there's mention of finances in there, unless the local authority has been given significant additional finance to support home educators, it's probably unlikely that much is going to come of this beyond what a reasonable local authority is already doing. The other key part of this bill, which people are really concerned about, are school attendance orders, which are dealt with in section 49. This is a really confusing provision. At the moment, school attendance orders can already be issued where a child is not receiving a suitable education either in school or otherwise than in school. And a school attendance order allows the local authority to specify a school to which the child must now be enrolled and must stay there for the remainder of their education unless the order is amended or revoked. And that actually doesn't change. Under the bill, as it's currently set out, school attendance orders are still only available if a child is not being educated in a suitable manner and it's considered expedient for the child to attend school. It's no different. What does seem to be different is that the local authority can issue a preliminary notice of a school attendance order, so basically a warning shot, if the child doesn't seem to be receiving a suitable education or the parent hasn't supplied the information we've talked about for the register. There doesn't seem to be any link between a preliminary notice for a school attendance order for failure to provide information and a school attendance order. You don't seem to be able to get a school attendance order for failing to provide the information. So it's not really clear how that's going to apply, and I'm assuming that's something that's going to be dealt with as the bill progresses, but it's something to keep an eye on. There are a lot of concerns about this bill. It's broad, it's vague, and for many people it feels that it's based on a misunderstanding of home educators. The people we work with, the families we support, are incredible. They're providing a really high quality of education to their children, which goes far beyond the remit of the national curriculum. We're teaching blacksmiths and business owners and ballet dancers who are excelling in their fields as well as doing all the stuff they'd be doing in school. And this is what we want our representatives to see. The home educators who are taking their job seriously and making this enormous commitment to their children. So please do keep an eye on this bill. Do get in touch with your representatives in the House of Commons so that they know what sort of home educators we have in the UK and how we approach this incredible privilege of educating our children. If you have any questions about the bill, please do get in touch in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer them. Thank you for watching.